this thing on? All right. It's pretty universally known that half of shooting good is just looking cool while you do it. So we're gonna see if that works better today. I've made some minor adjustments to the 7 PRC here, so we're gonna see if we can't get this thing shooting right, acting right, all that good stuff. A little bit more professional and stable position today. We're gonna do it 100 yards, do some group testing with some hand loads I brought, and then I'm going to shoot it at 850 and see what we get, just for the fun of it. 850, that's a good bit, that's a good stretch. It's about all I can get on this range I'm at, which is a new range, you might have noticed. But I don't have a downrange camera right now. I don't have my target camera because I still haven't unpacked it. No idea where it is. So, some of the obvious upgrades I've already made to the rifle. The 7 PRC Bergara, I've put it in a new stock. So that's fun. Got the field stock. Did some work there, and some other small things I'll talk about later. But let's see if they work first. I'm gonna just try to get this thing back on paper. Cold bore shot. Let's see where we're at. And then lay down some dang groups, man. Just to see if we can't get this sucker ironed out. Alright, no more ado about nothing. Parallax is set, nice and crisp. It's the first time shooting it off a bipod. We'll see how it goes. Oh, that's not bad. Let's put this first 3-shot group down and see what we get. That seems to be a little better. Let's see how shot number 3 goes. Opened up a little bit on that one. And this is with the Hornady Factory CX. So, but we are rough zeroed, so let's call that. I've got actually 2 different hand loads here and 2 different variants of those hand loads, but I went a little low on the powder charge. 68 grains of the powder I chose, Hornady ELDs. Oop, oop. Maybe we should get it in there. It's Thursday morning. We're waking up. Alright, chambered well. Now these were just kind of wild guesses for the load, but I went low. I went intentionally low on the charge. That's not bad. That's actually not bad. Those 2 are almost touching. I'm gonna find an accurate load versus a fast load, because the 7 PRC's already got plenty of juice. So let's go for an accurate load over a fast one first. Pulled that one a little bit, but not too bad. Call it a little bit of my fault. All right, I'm gonna focus on laying down the rest of these groups. I've got 3 more loads to try. 2 of them are with the Sierra Match King 183 grain, so I'm kind of interested to see how that turns out. And then the 180 ELDs, I've got 1 more hotter load for that. I'll let the gun cool down a little bit. I've gotten through about half my loads here, so we're gonna walk down and check the target on the 180 ELDs and see what we got using 2 different charge weights. I went up a full grain in between charge weights, just kind of testing pressure signs. And I don't have any yet, so that's a really good sign. I don't have any pressure issues so far using fresh Hornady brass and 180 ELDs, and I'm actually using Winchester Stayball HD. So I wanted to try that powder out because it's available and it's less expensive. And H1000 is a good powder I'd like to try too, but it can get kind of scarce sometimes, and a little on the more expensive side, but not great, not terrible. I really kind of am going to shoot for some Vitavori though. I'm going to look at the Vitavori series of powders in the 560s to 570, the N570 and 568. I'm going to look at those. I'm going to try those out. I think this is the kind of rifle that probably deserves the most premium powder you can put in it. So if I'm going to spend the money, it's not going to be on H1000. It's going to be on Vitavori. So here we are, coming up on the old target. All right, so we cleaned it up a little bit. This is about 1.5 inch group here. These are 8 and 180s, ELDM. This is 69 and 180. So, all right, good. Now I'm going to do Sierras right here. I use that dot and use that dot for the Sierras, the Match Kings. Hopefully they'll be a little crisper. Now we'll let the barrel cool down just a little bit. Get back to the shooting spot and settle in again. All right, doing good so far. Won't say the groups are anything spectacular with the 180s, but they are a little better. Let's go for Sierra Match Kings. See how we do. Ooh, that was almost a dead center bullseye. Alright, no pressure signs. Nothing super concerning. A little bit of a dimple. Let's try this again. Ah, kind of pulled that one. Dang it. I need a sandbag. I need a sandbag in front of this thing. But he didn't bring it with me. So we gotta do with what we got. Alright, that one was clean and it went right through the first hole. So yeah, that was a clean pull. And it is kissing like they're like that. I'll show you. So that was the 68s. Let's do some 69 grains. No concerning pressure signs there. If these work out, then we'll load up a few more, do some velocity testing, and we might have found our load. If I had not pulled that second shot, I feel like this one would have really been a good group. But I pulled it, so it doesn't count. I mean, it counts, but it doesn't, you know. You know what I mean. You know what I mean. You can't guess. You can only know. Okay, same spot, 69 grains. That is nice. I like that. Let's calm down. Everybody take a minute. I have a bad habit of rushing when I'm shooting. Just chill. That was a little bit tight on the chamber. Not too bad though. All right. I won't say that was the cleanest shot in the world. I was kind of wiggling a little bit. I definitely need to sandbag this thing. I think we're going to set up a little bit better position next time when we come out, just to make sure we eliminate all the variables, because this table is kind of wiggly. Not my best idea. Prone would have been better, but the problem with prone out here where I'm at is that the 100-yard range is kind of downhill. So you have to set your targets really high to get over the brush and over the mirage, because there's a little bit of mirage that comes off the dirt. I wanted to try getting up a little higher this time. And I think I need a bit of more stable table. That one opened up a little bit. No pressure signs. I might actually bump up a half grain of powder on the next try. But that was a good test. Now, let's set up our magneto speed and actually get some velocity testing off of this Hornady Outfitter, because I'm kind of looking for a round that I could just pull off the shelf and shoot if I need to. And I think the Hornady Outfitter, with the tweaks I made to the gun, it's right about 1.25 inch, 1.5 inch group. So I would take it, you know, for hunting if I had to. Using this old busted Magneto Speed Sport that I've had for years, and I honestly don't even know how accurate it is anymore, but I've beat the snot out of it, and the housing is actually starting to fall apart on the thing. So let's see if it'll even register some velocity. I had it duct taped together, but the tape came loose. So. All right, 160 CX factory stuff. $28.86. All right, that's not horrible. That's close to what I was hoping to get, 2,900 or whatever. Dude, 28.34. Yeah, there's your problem right there. I need to get one of those better chronographs. 28.18. So we are not as high as we thought we were. Let's write this down real quick. All right, this is kind of a hinky test, but I've doped set the velocity on this 160 CX factory stuff at 28.40 was my average, and the extreme spread was like stupid 68 or something like that. It was retarded. So yeah, the Hornady Outfitter stuff is a massive problem so far as velocity spreads go and stuff. But anyway, I've got a target out at 850, and I don't actually have a piece of paper or anything out there right now. There's just a split upright of target holders, and I'm gonna see if I can't park a bullet in between the two on that dope, on that velocity and everything. So I've got my stuff all dialed in here, and it's calling for 6.1 mils of elevation at 850 yards, which is awesome. So I'm just gonna go straight for 6.1. We got about a 7 mile an hour wind going this way, 7 to 10 switching. So I'm gonna hold over about 3/4 mil left, because winds are going rightish, up and rightish, and just see if I can't put one in between the uprights out there and see what these last 2 rounds do. Just kind of test to see if the velocities are even close to doping out there. So I'm gonna adjust the camera a little bit. You probably will not be able to see the target, but I'm gonna point you towards it anyway, because this is what we got today. So we are way out there at the top of that hill, and I guarantee there's no way you're gonna see the splash. It's, if you follow this road here, it's up that road and in that little area right there. So let me speed this up here. I'm just gonna give it a little bit of a whiz bang and see if we come close to the uprights. All right, we got our dope dialed. Let's get our parallax set. 0.2. Right in the middle. Hey, diddle diddle. All right, split it right between the uprights. That was awesome. Okay, and I'm gonna be honest, I've tried this the other day too with the CXs and the Hornady other factory stuff, and on target out to 850, I could get on target. You know, not sub-minute, but on target in the sweet spot. Dude, that wind is switching good. So that was a good wind call. It was a 0.2 that I dialed left, and it split the uprights dead down the center. So if there was a piece of paper there, we would have been probably within 4 inches of bull, which next time I'm going to put some paper out before we do this. But I'm going to dial in my hand loads first. Let's try it again. Holding 1.2, 6.1 mils elevation. Split them again right in the same spot. Dadgum. Oh my gosh. Okay. I'm gonna be honest. Even with some hinky setup and some hinky factory ammo, let me dial this down so you can see my face, because that's what everybody's here for, is my beautiful face, right? Just say yes, pretend. Dude, okay. The 7 PRC is not getting the best groups on paper yet. We're getting down about a minute and a half. With the hand loads, it looks like at least, or with at least capable. We're capable of about a minute. But every time I've taken it out 600, 700, 800 yards, which has been a couple times in the last week, just kind of trying stuff out with factory ammo, particularly the Hornady Outfitter. I've gone through some of that now. It's not the greatest on paper load up front. It's just under a minute, maybe a minute and a half, like just under a minute and a half, just about that range on average. And out at distance though, I was shooting the other day, I did 750, 850, 760, and some 5 and 600 stuff. And I could literally pick a rock, rock, like not rock, but rock, and hit it at those distances. This thing is such a flat shooting rifle, a flat shooting caliber and cartridge. It's kind of stupid. It's like, it's kind of like the archer's paradox. When you watch an arrow go out of a bow, it's doing this, floating all over the place before it settles in and hits target. But it hits the target past a certain distance, past a certain range. So I would say I definitely would hunt with this thing as it is right now. I would not hunt past 400 yards with it, but confidently with the factory stuff, like just pulling it straight off the shelf, I'm pretty confident that I could put it in the heart of an elk or a deer at out to about 400 yards. I mean, that 850 yard target I just split with, that's 2 pieces of rebar standing up that hold targets and stuff. And it used to have a piece of metal swinging in it. I guess somebody took it down, or they take it home with them when they come back, because it's a public area people use for shooting. But if I had put a target there, which I have done before with other calibers, cartridges and stuff, and put a 10 ring that was 8 inches, I would have been, with both of those shots, I'm guessing I would have been close to, at least close to 2 to 3 inches close to bull. Just based off of the piece of grass I picked out behind the target in between the uprights and where the bullets hit both times. They were both within a couple inches of each other. I could go down there and drive down there and find out, but I don't think I'm going to today. I want to get it on paper and actually verify it before I call it super cool. But it's got some capabilities, man. This cartridge does. This caliber does. I think we've got some of the kinks ironed out of the Bergara. So what did I do to it? Okay, I put it in the field stock, trued up all the bottom parts and underneaths and cleaned it up and made sure everything was good, so the action bedding's there, torqued it down. I rechecked all my screws, I rechecked my mounts for the scope and everything, cleaned the bore really good, and I actually pulled the muzzle brake off and recrowned it. And the crown coming out of the bore was a little, not jagged, but it had some edge to it. It had a little bit of tooth and edge to it. And so I chamfered that down just a little bit, just touched it, just to knock it down, and started working with the hand loads. And I think this barrel might need just a little bit more time getting broke in, and then it'll actually be a sub-minute gun. That's kind of what I'm feeling with this thing. Is I might need to tweak the hand loads for sure, and then just give this thing some time to settle in, and we might be looking pretty good. Because I don't know that I'm over 100 rounds yet. I have to count it up. I don't think I'm over 100 rounds yet. And generally, I don't like to call a barrel good or not, or put gun good or not, until I've gone through at least 100 to 150 rounds to settle things in really well. Especially with the loads I'm going to be shooting, like the hunting load and the target load I'm going to shoot, because I developed 2 for every gun, target load, hunting load. And so once I get through that load development and the barrel settles down a little bit, I'm pretty confident this thing will be a sub-minute gun. It shouldn't take all of that coming from the factory to do all that. It shouldn't. With most rifles these days, but they're not all perfect, and occasionally you're going to get one that you have to work with a little bit more. So spend the time first before you throw the baby out with the bathwater. If I get over 100, 150 rounds and I tweak some hand loads and tune them in, and I can't get this thing to shoot sub-minute, then I'm going to send it back to the factory. But right now, I think confidently I can hunt with this thing out to about 400. And I will, if I get the chance. Anyway, y'all be good. Stay safe. Get out there and do some shooting. And be blessed.